resistance may be an obvious sign that you're not in your flow, but there's bumps along the way to living your life's purpose. Hear Dean's story of when he knew it was meant to be and building the sanctuary moved forward.
I think, one of the things that the universe wants is evolution, right? And so if we look at, entry, most things are breaking down, so mountains will fall to the sea, blah, blah, blah. The one thing that seems to defy that is life. Life seems to want to express in more complex patterns. So if we look at the brain, if we just look at life on Earth, it's getting more complex.
Yes.
And so when I had this idea, what was interesting is there was a need for it, right? This whole paradigm of traditional treatment like has been done and is still being done, there was a room for something else, like an expanse, kind of like sometimes we go hiking in Sedona, a tree will be growing out of a rock. It wanted to happen there, like it defies all odds, but life wants to happen. So this project wanted to happen, and I was just guided. And it wasn't by my expertise of running a center. I didn't know the first thing about running a center at that time, which was in some way, there's no model to look at. Hey, how do these people do these different things? We had to create ours from scratch. And the interesting thing about that was, yes, while it's more challenging, the other side is there are no constraints, right? There are no rules about what it needs to be or not be. So it's unlimited when we don't have that model.
Yeah.
And I think people watching this probably have an idea. And what we share with people here is through our own life experience, we get certain lessons. And so let's say you and I decide to go to engineering school, and so we graduate and we have the same degree, we have the same skill set. But our other curriculum of life, all our ups and downs and our triumphs and tribulations, are a unique set of curriculum that's mine. That means I have something unique to offer the world. And I think what the world wants is unique things, because that's biodiversity, diversity of ideas. It's how new things happen. It's evolution. And we live in an evolving universe and an evolving consciousness. It's either grow or die. If you look at nature, that's how it happens. So for people out there that have this idea, I would say, don't hold back. Don't try to be like other people, because that's already being done. And you got to try something completely different. And we hit some bumps along the way. It's quite a story how we got all this going.
So you're in rehab on the East Coast. You buy a place in Sedona. You get the download that you're doing this center, and then you arrive here and things just start to align, it sounds like.
We're in the most perfect place. It's kind of like a monastery, but it's very challenging to build things here. We're down this dirt road, and the power and the things and all the utilities. So during this process, it was so interesting. I have this architect that was married to Frank Lloyd Wright's daughter. We designed all these buildings. The sanctuary was built from the ground up. Every stone here is put in a place to help create an experience for the people that come here. And so we go a couple of years getting the permits and the designs and the things, and all of a sudden we get it. And then the builder goes, well, okay, now we need the money. And it didn't even occur to me that we wouldn't get the money, but I hadn't started looking for the money, and so it was some giant amount of money. And I went and got it twice, and the deal fell through right at the last minute. And so many turning points in the story of the sanctuary, but at that time I was pretty defeated, and I had extended my building permits, way more than the law allows. And so I get a call from the county, and they say, hey, I don't know why we're going to renew these permits again. The guy's a little hostile on the phone. And I said, you know what? Let him go. I'm done. And an hour later, I get this call, and he's like, you better get down here. So at that time, I had just met Kelly, who was a land use attorney at that time. So I called her up, and I said, hey, I think I'm in trouble. You better come up here. So we go to this meeting, and there's a bunch of people around this boardroom, and there's a TV set with the county seat and a bunch of people around that table. and they're all hemming and hawing about this thing, and people are asking, well, who told him he could do these different things? And finally, kind of the bad cop in the matter looks at me and he goes, look, you can't quit. We're not letting you quit. And you got 6 months to fix these buildings that you have, or we're going to violate you, and you get to work. And
wow, that'll do it.
So, and interestingly enough, I left the meeting with Kelly and I said, have you ever seen that before? And she's like, no. Somehow these guys wanted it. You know, they knew that this was like, there was such passion in this thing that we were like partners, you know, and they knew I was just a guy that didn't know the first thing about building stuff and all that. And so that was one of thousands of things that kept me going.
Yeah. Now, being in that flow, like having the universe support you, you know, really feeling like you're doing your purpose. A lot of people want that, and they haven't found that yet. Any tips or thoughts as to how to help people get into their flow and their purpose? Because I know you're all about purpose.
Well, the purpose, you know, if we look at why purpose is important, and you know, for me, I can only give you my own perspective. Purpose gives our lives a meaning, you know, it's a meaning. And what's interesting is meaning is the most important thing about life, because your life means whatever you decide that it means. So if life is a drudgery and I'm just trying to get through the day, well, that's what my life means. And if my life is mystical and magical, that's what it means. And I get to decide that. The same way people would say, God, marriage is the most fabulous thing, or marriage is the worst thing. That's the meaning that they've assigned to this thing. And so another thing about purpose is it's the nature of all living things. So I'm out here in the desert, and you look at all these little insects and plants. You know, this plant protects that plant, this insects eat that, this does that, and that. They all fit together in this tapestry of life in symbiotic relationship. And when we are connected to our purpose, we are connected to that, and then we are making a contribution. And that's why service is part of every spiritual tradition on the planet. And you know, I didn't know that back in kind of the 12-step days where they said, you come in and make coffee, but service, really, we're of service to life. So I think that when people can find something that's going to be of service to life that they love doing, all of a sudden we get in the flow, because I'm worried about being of service to this greater thing, and nature seems to support that. When we hit all the green lights, we're in the flow. When I'm 3 hours late to the plane and my plane is 5 hours late, I'm in the flow, right? You know, but when I'm bumping into all kinds of obstacles, then I'm probably not in the flow. So that doesn't mean we don't have things that we have to contend with, but it's really a pretty subjective thing to know whether I'm hitting resistance or these are just other obstacles that I need to get over in this great journey of my own evolution to bring this thing.
Listen into the full episode and you'll learn more.
Blossom Bliss products are designed to help empower pure love and purpose in your life. It's through the power of words, flowers, and symbols that our products assist you in creating a blissful life. The power of words in our mini mantra word bar necklaces assist you in setting and blossoming your personal intentions. The affirmation cards leverage the power of flowers by providing daily inspiration. And the power of symbols in our life journey bracelets are great reminders of the things that bring us peace, joy, and love. Products are made and blessed in Bali with love by Balinese artisans who work with empowered hearts. When you purchase jewelry with a bee charm, we donate to save the bees. Join us in pollinating the planet with love. Go to our website, blossomblissbali.com. Again, that's blossomblissbali.com.